2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire ruled the world. Their roads stretched for miles, their cities glowed with gold and marble, but beneath the glory lay a secret system, a system that still controls our world today. No, not their armies, not their emperors, their taxes. Rome looked rich. It wasn't. It was organized. Every coin that clinked in a soldier's hand, every brick laid on a Roman road, came from one thing: tax collection. The Romans didn't just collect taxes. They built a machine that made sure taxes never stopped. And this machine survived empires, kings, and governments. You and I? We still live inside it. Let's rewind. Year 27 BC. Emperor Augustus takes power. He promises peace, the Pax Romana. But peace costs money. So Augustus builds something new. A tax system so precise, even chaos couldn't break it. Landowners pay tax for soil, merchants pay tax for goods, even ordinary people pay a head tax. No one escapes. If you breathe Roman air, you pay Rome. But here's the clever and cruel part. The Roman government didn't collect every coin itself. They sold the right to collect taxes to the highest bidder. These men were called Publicani, the tax farmers. They promised Rome a fixed amount of money. Then they squeezed the people for more. If they made extra, they kept it. If they failed, they went broke. It was business disguised as patriotism, a private company collecting public money. Sounds familiar? It should. Publicani became rich, richer than senators. They bribed officials. They built networks. They owned ports, land, and even armies. Rome's power ran on taxes, but taxes ran on greed. Still, the system worked. Money poured in. Empires grew, and for the first time in history, a government learned how to rule not just people, but their productivity. Rome's secret formula was simple: land plus people. Revenue. They counted every farm, every worker, every animal. Then they taxed it, together. This was the capitatio iugatio. Big name, simple idea. You pay for what you own and for who you are. Even if floods came, even if crops died, you still owed Rome. It didn't matter if you could pay, only that you must. On paper, it was genius. In real life, it was pain. Families lost farms, villages went broke, people were tied to land, forever. If you couldn't pay, you couldn't leave. Someone had to pay. That's how farmers slowly became serfs. The empire turned people into living tax receipts. Centuries passed. The empire fell. But the tax system didn't. Its ideas survived. Kings copied it. Nations shaped it. Governments still use parts of it. The structure stayed the same. Take from land, from work, from trade. Rome's system became our system. Only the names changed. So the next time you pay tax, remember this: you're feeding a 2,000-year-old idea. Rome fell. Or at least that's what history says. The soldiers vanished, the emperors were gone, but the system stayed. When Rome's walls crumbled, its ideas slipped quietly into the hands of kings. Because kings needed money too. And guess who had already written the rulebook? Rome. Medieval lords didn't invent their taxes, they inherited them. The Roman land tax became the feudal tax. The capitatio iugatio turned into serfdom. The idea was the same. You owe money or labor just because you exist on someone's land. Farmers couldn't run. Their taxes followed them. Their children were born already in debt. Sound harsh? It was. But the secret worked. The rich stayed rich. The poor stayed useful. Fast forward a few centuries. The church grows powerful. Kings turn into nations. Wars cost more. To fight, to build, to rule, they need revenue. So they copy the Roman trick again, take from land, trade, and people. And just like Rome, they don't always collect it themselves. They hire collectors, bankers, merchants, private men gathering public money. Profit hiding behind duty. A very old pattern. In Rome, the army made the empire strong. In the New World, money did. By the 1500s and 1600s, tax systems looked Roman, but with a twist. Now, instead of a publicani riding a horse, you had a banker in Venice or a merchant in London counting coins for kings. Wars like the Crusades and the 100 Years' War were funded by taxes and loans. And who organized those loans? Men who had learned from Rome's balance sheets. Rome had taught the world something dangerous. If you control how people pay, you control how they live. Then came the Enlightenment. New governments, new constitutions, old habits. The Romans had linked taxes to citizenship. You pay because you belong to the empire. Modern countries said the same. You pay because you belong to the state. Even today, whether it's income tax or property tax, it's the same pattern, just wrapped in law: land, people, work, tax. The Roman triangle lives on. In the 20th century, the system went digital. Computers replaced scrolls, banks replaced temples, but the design never changed. Governments still rely on constant inflow. Debt replaced tribute. But it's the same game: take, spend, repeat. Even the International Monetary Fund and global tax treaties follow the Roman logic. Organize the world by who owes what to whom. That's empire in disguise. Look around, every paycheck, every sales receipt, every customs duty, it's all built on the same skeleton Augustus designed. Rome taught humanity to turn tax into control, to make people believe paying is part of living. And maybe that's why the Roman Empire never truly died. Because an empire doesn't need armies when it owns the system everyone depends on. So next time you file your taxes, remember this: you're participating in a 2,000-year-old idea. The idea that built roads, funded wars, and shaped civilizations. The Roman Empire may have vanished from maps, but its system still writes the rules of our world. Rome is gone. But the pattern didn't vanish. It only changed its face. No emperors, no marble palaces, just skyscrapers, banks, and algorithms. Because the new empire doesn't need armies, it runs on numbers, and those numbers are still Roman at heart. Once, Rome taxed land and trade routes. Now governments tax data and transactions. Every time you buy a coffee, click an ad, send money abroad, someone takes a piece. That's not new, that's Rome's spirit inside a computer. Rome used coins with Caesar's face. Today the face is gone, but the control, still there. Remember the Publicani, the tax farmers, private men who collected taxes for Rome. Look again at our time. Multinational corporations collect, store, and transfer money for governments every day. Payment processors, banks, even tech giants. They handle your money before you do. They take fees. They follow state rules. They profit from both sides. Rome would be proud. When Rome ruled, taxes tied far lands together. Now, global finance does the same. Institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, and international tax treaties decide how wealth moves across borders. They set quotas, interest rates, and conditions. Different language, same logic. Rome collected grain from Egypt. Today, nations collect debt payments from each other. Still tribute, still empire. In Rome, citizenship meant taxes and duty. Today, your identity number does the same. You can't work, travel, or own without paying something. Your earnings are tracked. Your transactions logged. Every move leaves a trace. The Roman census counted people. Our databases do too, just faster. We like to think we're freer than Romans, but are we? Back then, farmers were tied to their land. Now workers are tied to their bills. One missed payment and the system reminds you who's boss. The method evolved. The purpose didn't. Keep people working. Keep revenue flowing. Keep the empire alive. The modern empire doesn't wear armor. It wears a logo. Its armies are not soldiers, they're systems. Its conquests are not lands, they're markets. And at its core is still that Roman secret, a tax that never sleeps. Every second, somewhere, a transaction is taxed. Every dollar, every click, every wage. Just like the Roman farmer, we keep the machine running. So did Rome really fall? Or did it just evolve into everything around us? Our laws, our banks, our taxes, all built on ancient blueprints. Maybe the Roman Empire didn't end. Maybe it became the world. Because power doesn't vanish, it adapts. And the greatest empire in history never needed to rise again. It never really fell. 2,000 years, different rulers, same system. Rome lives on, not in stone but in the code of our economies, in the debts of nations, in the taxes we pay. The Roman Empire's secret tax system still runs the world. And the most astonishing part? We built our future on it, without ever realizing we were living in its shadow.